Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia, and if you're not, welcome back. Today's video is all about creating a productive study routine. I have trial and errored this many times, and I've changed it up quite a bit this semester to make myself work a bit more smarter rather than harder. So if you want to follow along and see what I'm doing this semester, then keep watching and I shall give you the tips. Okay, so the first thing about creating a productive study routine, in my opinion, is understanding whether you work best during the morning or at nighttime. Some of us may be more night owls and work late into the depths of the night, like at 1 to 2 a.m. But for me, that just does not work. It messes up my sleep schedule, and I prefer to wake up early in the morning and work when there's like more natural light out, especially in this room. It gets pretty dark here at nighttime, like there's not the best lighting, so I prefer to do it during the day when the sun comes in. I also prefer to work in the mornings because I find if I leave it to later on in the night, I'm constantly thinking about all the work I have to do, and then it just gets quite overwhelming. So if you're anything like me, I write my little to-do list in the morning and then try and get as much done as I can so that I can have the evening to rest. But again, it's completely up to you. So if you find that during the day you like to take a rest and do whatever you need to do, and then at night time get all your work done, then create that routine around your schedule. So what I like to do is I will normally schedule my revision and like study around my normal uni timetable. I found this is particularly useful if you are doing online uni like we are at the moment. Yes, Sydney's still in lockdown, unfortunately, so all my classes are over Zoom. I do attend all of my live lectures just because I find it helps me to stay on top of the work. It's also just nice to get it done within the hour that they schedule. You don't need to think too much about it. For example, my timetable this semester is mostly spread out. I do have a lot of classes on Monday, but that's because all of anatomy, basically, I have every single class for that subject on the Monday. So I have like my 2 lectures and a lab for anatomy that day. So what I'll do is I'll plan my anatomy revision, like the bulk of the work I have to do for that subject I'll do on that day I have those classes. For me at the moment, it's Monday I'll do my anatomy, Tuesday I'll do my anatomy major subject because I have my tute that day, and then for example like Fridays I have all my physiology lectures, so I'll try to get the bulk of my physiology work done on the Friday. And that just really helps me to spread the workload, and also I find like when you're not jumping between completely different subjects, it helps you to stay more on task and like in the zone of that subject. So my next tip on creating a productive study routine is to have non-negotiables each week for each subject. So what I mean by non-negotiables is that it's not negotiable and
do it! Just do it!
And you have to do that task every single week for that subject, and that'll help you to not only stay on track with all of your work, but also it'll make coming up to the exam a lot easier because you'll have either all your notes done or you'll have covered all of the content by the exam, and it will prevent any last minute cramming. Well, at least that's the aim. For example, this semester for anatomy, I'm doing a head and neck anatomy subject, and it's extremely content heavy. So my non-negotiable for each week is to have all my Anki flashcards made for each lecture and review them at least once throughout that week. Same goes for like physiology. My non-negotiable for that week is to have all of my lecture Notion toggle notes. That made no sense. Have all of my Notion notes done for each lecture done by that week. So when you set these non-negotiables, they're sort of like the priorities you want to keep at the top of your list before you go on and do extra revision. It also means that if I want to do another task or if I want to watch a movie or something, I will make sure that I have those things done before I go on to that other thing, because I know if I don't make myself do it that day or that week, it'll just build up over the next few weeks, and that's how you can fall behind. Okay, so my last tip about creating a productive study routine is learning how to work smarter and not harder. Yes, you probably have heard this 1,000,001 times, but what does that actually mean and how do you implement it? Well, there's 2 different ways that I like to go about this, and the first one is about learning your assessment style and the types of subjects you're doing. So yes, one part of doing uni is loving what you learn and really getting into it, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you're getting assessed on it. in like a short time frame where you're learning this much content, you want to prioritize your revision methods based on how you're getting assessed. I know it sounds bad, but it's the reality at the end of the day. Since going online and doing uni over Zoom and stuff, the format of some of my exams have definitely changed. So for example, in physiology, instead of having a closed book exam like we normally would, all of my physiology exams this semester are online open book exams, and I think they're more essay style than they normally would be. I try to prioritize more learning and understanding the concepts rather than memorizing all of the little minute details. So because my anatomy exams are still closed book and they're proctored, so that means I still have to memorize all of the details. I do like flashcards to memorize all of the content, and I draw diagrams, do notes and that sort of stuff. Whereas for physiology, I don't go about it the same way, if that makes sense. Because you would be sort of wasting your time memorizing all these details you really could just look up during the exam. So that's one way you want to work smarter, not harder, is really understand your assessment style and tailor your revision towards that. The second way I'm trying to work smarter this semester is changing up my revision style to support the way that I learn. I find myself quite a visual learner, so in the past I have always done notes and then I've done my active recall, toggle things on Notion. That method does really work for me. I just find with anatomy this semester and last semester that it was like way more content than I anticipated compared to my second year units in anatomy. So I am this semester changing it up a bit and trying to learn all of the theory content as well as the prac on Anki by doing flashcards. It is a lot of like memorizing, but I'm not really writing my notes as soon as my lecture finishes, which for me is quite daunting because that's all I've ever done and what I've known. So to change it up is a bit scary. I'll let you know how it goes. So far it's going pretty well. For these subjects this semester, we get given a course book with basically all the content we need to know. So I use that in the lecture slides to make closed caption flashcards on Anki. And then I will do at least like 40 or 50 new cards a day on Anki, as well as reviewing the past ones in like a spaced repetition sort of manner, using techniques that are also like known to be effective, like active recall and spaced repetition is also another way you can work smarter. Anki does it all for you. Will like bring your cards up to you when you need to review them based on how difficult you found them. So that's how I'm studying for anatomy this semester. And then what I'm going to try and do is, once I reviewed all the content a few times on the flashcards, I will make notes, but try and do it from memory using prompts like the learning objectives and stuff. Hopefully that works because, as I said, I am a visual learner, so I do like to have my diagrams and stuff like that. So I'm not really taking away that portion of my learning. I'm just incorporating it in a different manner, so it helps me to save a bit more time and also work smarter because I'm using that as a fully active way of learning towards the end of semester when it gets closer to exams. Getting yourself into a routine does take time and also takes trial and error, but once you've found your routine and what works best for you, it makes studying a lot easier and also a bit more enjoyable because you know what you need to do, get it done, and then you feel accomplished after it. So if you found any of these tips useful, then give this video a thumbs up. If you have any more tips or want to share your routine, then let me know down below in the comments and I shall heart react them. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, then be sure to subscribe to my channel down below. I would love to have you in this little community. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!